Hello, investors. This is AI Crypto Insights, where we give you a few minutes of AI-powered insight into the market. Just a reminder, this is for educational reference only, not investment advice. Today, we're parsing the Galaxy Research Report by Lucas Tushian and Vikram Singh, and it's called Agentic Payments and Crypto's Emerging Role in the AI Economy. So, the report kicks off with this really powerful idea, framing what's happening as a Leviathan moment. Think about it like this. The AI economy has kind of been like the Wild West. It's chaotic, full of potential, but it's missing the rules to really truly flourish. What we're about to explore is a new system, a unified set of rules that could bring order and, frankly, unleash a whole new wave of innovation.
All right, so what is the big problem that actually needs solving here? Let's get right to the heart of it. For all their incredible brain power, AIs have been, well, effectively put on mute when it comes to money. I mean, just imagine having a brilliant assistant who can research, analyze, and even negotiate for you. But they have no way to pay for anything. That's been the reality for AI agents. They are basically stuck in this digital world without a wallet, totally unable to access the data and services they need to do their jobs. It's been a huge bottleneck holding back the entire field.
But what if we could just flip a switch and give these AIs a real voice in the economy? Well, that's exactly where this new standard called x402 comes into the picture. So let's break down what it is and how it really works. The beauty of x402 is that it's not starting completely from scratch. It's actually reviving a piece of the internet's original blueprint, the HTTP 402 payment required code that's basically been collecting dust for decades. Coinbase dusted it off to create a standard that lets value flow as freely as information. And their goal was beautifully simple. Let's eliminate API keys. Now, for anyone out there who's ever had to manage those, you know what a total game changer that could be. And this just shows how elegantly simple it is. So an AI agent requests a service, the server sends back an invoice. Then, this crucial player called the coordinator steps in. You can think of it as a financial concierge for the AI. It handles all the messy blockchain stuff like gas fees and wallet management, so the AI doesn't have to. The payment settles on chain, and boom, the agent gets what it needs. It's totally seamless and lets AIs focus on being AIs, not crypto experts. Okay, so we've got this powerful new tool. The next question is pretty obvious, right? Is anyone actually using it? And the answer to that reveals a classic crypto story, a market that's maturing, moving from pure speculation to real, tangible utility. Just like we've seen so many times in the crypto world, the first wave of adoption was all driven by speculation. In this case, people minting and trading meme coins. But this is where it gets really interesting. The data shows a clear pivot. As of December, once you filter out all that noise, over half the activity is for sustainable use cases, things like agent-to-agent services and data access. That's a huge sign of a technology that's finding its real footing and moving way beyond the hype. So the key takeaway here is that x402 isn't trying to replace your credit card for buying coffee. It's designed for a world where traditional payments are just too slow and too expensive. We're talking about tons of tiny value transactions happening in the blink of an eye. An AI paying a fraction of a cent for one piece of data, or a company like Cloudflare turning all that annoying bot traffic into a new revenue stream. This opens up a whole new economic design space, enabling business models that just weren't even possible before. Now, whenever you create this much disruption, you know the big players are going to start paying attention. And yeah, the titans of commerce are not just sitting on the sidelines. They are actively building their own solutions for this new agent-driven economy. Let's take a look at Stripe's Agentic Commerce Protocol, or ACP. The really key difference here is the environment they're each designed for. See, x402 is for the wild, open, permissionless world of software paying software. It's fast, it's automated, and it doesn't ask for permission. Stripe's ACP, on the other hand, is built for the regulated, permissioned world of e-commerce, where you absolutely need things like a human to approve a purchase, fraud detection, and the ability to reverse a transaction. They're really just two different tools for two very different jobs. But here's the brilliant part. They're not competitors, they're partners. Just imagine an AI booking your next vacation. It would use x402 to make dozens, maybe even hundreds of tiny automated payments to all these different APIs for weather data, flight prices, hotel availability, all that stuff. Then, once it's crunched all the numbers and found the absolute perfect itinerary, it would switch over to Stripe's ACP to handle the final large human-approved purchase with the airline, complete with all the consumer protections you'd expect. It's really the best of both worlds. And that brings us to what the report says is maybe the most profound and probably the most overlooked insight in this entire shift. And honestly, it might not be what you think.
So, the real revolution here, it isn't about changing how we buy things online. It's about changing how we build things online. The biggest bottleneck in AI today isn't really the intelligence of the models. It's the friction of getting them the data they need. It's that massive headache of managing API keys, paying for expensive subscriptions you only use a tiny fraction of, and waiting around for manual approvals. For developers, this is a complete paradigm shift. Imagine this. Instead of wrestling with API keys and getting locked into these expensive monthly plans, you can just give an AI agent a budget and a goal, and then let it autonomously pay for exactly the resources it needs, one API call at a time. This just dramatically lowers the cost and the friction of experimentation, making it so much easier and cheaper to build the next generation of AI-powered applications. And this all leads to a really fascinating final thought. You know, we're always looking for that one killer app that's going to bring crypto to the masses. But what if the biggest crypto adoption is the one we never actually see? Protocols like x402 are positioning blockchain to be this invisible, foundational infrastructure, a quiet layer that just works in the background, powering the new agent-driven internet without most people ever even knowing it's there. AI analyst verdict: x402 isn't just a new payment rail, it's a fundamental economic primitive that could quietly embed blockchain into the core of future software development. Share your thoughts in the comments. See you next episode.